Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Today's season is back in Black Gold online, and I'll be doing a sort of rundown of the first 10 levels, some initial impressions of how this looks. Let me preface this video, first of all, by saying that this has literally just gone into open beta a matter of days ago. So, these will be based on, how the beta looks. It's not going to be it's by no means finished. So these are my impressions of what it's like, and hopefully I can come back to it more and more as the beta progresses and some of the issues will be fixed, as it's not perfect, of course. It has just gone beta, but the premise is there, and I really do think that we should try to support some of these smaller games as well. Let's see. Here we are. This is us logged in now. First of all, I'd like to point out I don't have the greatest computer in the world. It's more than capable enough of running Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn at the highest settings available and achieving a frame rate steadily of between 70 and 100 frames per second. So it's not a bad computer, but it's not great. What I've noticed in a game that looks slightly dated, let's be absolutely honest here. I mean, the character models up close look pretty good. But if you look around the world itself, it looks pretty dated. At least to me, anyway. But one thing I've noticed an awful lot of is it appears very, very unoptimized. There is an awful lot of input lag on the controls. There, as you can see here, there is just massive drops in frame rate. And originally I'd put that down to when I logged in, the beta had just started, and I had thought, large amount of players crashing the servers. But even now, this has been recorded in British summertime, so most of America is probably asleep or just getting up for a Monday morning. And as you can see, it's still very, very, very laggy. And I'm hopeful that this will get finished, will get fixed even during the beta. So that was the first issue I had. It was the first issue I come across with the game, and yeah, but it can kind of get a pass on that because it is beta, and hopefully it will improve. You've seen from the video earlier on, the character creation is fairly good. It's not exceptional, but it is pretty decent. Again, as you'll see from just as we wander around the world a little bit here, there's an awful lot of graphical pop-in. Again, hopefully down to it just being in beta, but I guess time will tell. Also, you can see here the noise. I'm presuming that's coming from this this sort of boat out in the sea here. And standing here, no noise. Standing here, deafening noise. So there's definitely some work to be done on that. And excuse me, I do have a bit of the sniffles as well. I've got a little bit of a cold coming on, which is not great. So yeah, sounds like that do tend to randomly cut in and disappear just as quickly. Very strange. The controls themselves are quite clunky. It's not a fantastic control system, to be absolutely honest. It does use the standard MMO controls, WASD, which is, as expected, but they are pretty clunky, to be honest. Again, not great, pretty big input lag. This, as you'll see looking at this screen, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these sort of coloured present kind of boxes. This game throws gifts at you like I have never seen in my life. It so wants to be liked. It is just hammering you with gifts. So let's take a little look here. Because I've no problem with free stuff. Everyone likes free stuff, but let's just take a look. There's this sort of party hats kind of party popper type thing. And so it's given me a gift here, which is again, I'm not even part of a guild, and it's given me a reward for being part of a guild. So, okay. And as you can see, all of these things here have different rewards. And that's fine. I don't mind things like that. But then we have this one. If you're online for 5 minutes, there's a gift. If you're online for 15 minutes, there's another gift. 45 minutes, another one. 60 minutes, another one. And then we have this one. Server sign-in bonus. So just by signing into the server for consecutive days, there's more gifts. It's just showering you with gifts. Here's some more gifts. Level 1 reward, level 5, level 10, 15, 20, and every 5 levels, all the way up until level 40. More gifts thrown at you, hand over fist. It's like this game is begging to be liked. It is trying to buy love with gifts. As I say, no problem with free stuff. Everyone likes free stuff. But, yeah, a bit too much. So, we'll take a little look at the combat. So we will engage one of these Darkfire researchers, and yeah, you'll see how the combat goes. And it's not bad. Once again, it's just laggy. There's a horrible lag to combat, and I'm quite hopeful. You can see it there, dropping frames, and yeah, it could be better. Now here's another thing. Now, if I was to jump off of this ledge, I would expect to just jump quite nicely. How I would expect to jump. But no, when you jump, gravity appears to go to moon gravity. So if I take a couple of steps and jump, and I'm floating through the air, and if you thought that was bad, let me bring up a mount here. Here's a black wolf mount. Okay, you see sort of steampunky wolf mechanical thing. Cool. Okay, let's jump off this in the wolf mount. It appears to take to the skies and soar through some of these jumps. It is very, very strange sensation. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it, but we just seem to float, very floaty. Yeah, the actual vertical leap is not high at all, but there's just this sort of drifty, floaty sensation. But again, it's beta. I'm willing to let everything go on account of it being open beta, because it's open beta. It's not perfect. It's not ready to play. This is not the finished article. But you can just see the slowdown there. I wish I could go back and show you a cutscene, because the cutscenes appear to be rendered in we talk normally now about high definition. The cutscenes appear to be rendered in super low definition. They move slowly. They have massive pixelation. They are just dreadful. Really, really terrible cutscenes. Really poor. So let's head sort of out of town. This is the map here, and this is This is where we're going to go back towards the factory. This is kind of the starting zone up here. I mean, it's a pretty big world. Let's, make no mistake about it. It's a sizable world. No doubt. And it's got an interesting lore. It's a game that I want to play more of. It needs work. I mean, the premise itself is certainly very interesting. It's a war between sort of the mechanists, the machine, steampunk style, against nature. It's sort of very Avatar-esque, kind of like the James Cameron film Avatar. It's very much along those lines. The machine faction needs more black gold for more machines. So yeah, it's certainly an interesting premise, one I would love to explore some more, and one I certainly hope to come back to. In the dungeons, now I've been into one low level, sort of, I wouldn't even call it a dungeon per se, but it was an instance, and there's some, again, terrible character pop-up. There's just characters popping up right in front of you. You have no time to sort of come up with a plan of attack. They are on you immediately just because of the way they've popped in. And it makes planning things through your dungeon. Luckily, I've taken a tank class, so all I have to do is, sword and board, hit them, and they fall over eventually. But yeah, there may be other classes that is a bit more of a problem for. The HUD itself looks very dated. I'm not a big fan of the type of display. I mean, it's a WoW clone, no doubt, in terms that, they have the basic buttons down here. And you can just see it slowing down as it loads in the help text here. And that's just trying to load in some text. It's not asking it to do much. It's not great. But yeah, the HUD itself, it looks, I can't close this. It's got a minimize button that I can't use until level 20. Seems very, very strange. This big black box up here in the top right takes up a big chunk of the screen. There's these ridiculous coloured gift bags where they shower you with gifts. It doesn't work for me, the HUD. It doesn't look great, to be absolutely honest. But again, I'm sure a lot of this will be refined throughout the beta process. There is just the sounds in general, the way the sounds come in. They come in and they come in loud and then they disappear just as quickly, and it just generally doesn't sound very natural. Especially there is one mount, a motorcycle mount, that has the loudest, droniest noise you have ever heard. And they give everyone one of these motorcycle mounts at like level 7 or 8. And my god, the racket, the absolute racket of these things cutting about is headache inducing, to be honest. Absolutely headache inducing. The text on the screen itself, just talking, thinking back about the HUD here, the text is quite small, it's quite hard to read. I mean, these enemies are yellow, it just blends in with this sort of grey-brown environment. It's not fantastic. There's issues. But I want to talk about some of the good points, though. The premise of this, as I've said, is fantastic. Loving the idea behind it. Love the sort of steampunk scenario. It's a good story that I want to enjoy. I want to learn more about it. Other good points. The lag itself, I thought the lag got better when I was out of less populated areas, but I'm not so sure about that anymore, to be honest. When I was playing it last night, it seemed to be better when I was out of the sort of area where everyone pops in at the start. But it does seem to be still pretty bad out here. But it does appear to get better. Less players are logged in. Um, when you're on a mount, the ability to interact with NPCs on a mount, it's something, as a regular Final Fantasy player, it is something I have dreamed about. Absolutely dreamed about. I would love to be able to interact with NPCs while I'm on mount, turn in quests, etc. while mounted. Fantastic. Definitely think every MMO should do this. To say the mounts are interesting, you get mounts early. They're not hidden away. They're given to you quite freely, so you can navigate the world. Definitely agree with that. Definitely appeals to me. Yeah, so there are good points to it, and if there weren't, I probably wouldn't keep coming back to it. It just needs some work, and it is in beta, and it will get better. Would I recommend it just now? Probably not, unless you understand what is involved in an open beta, or just in beta testing in general. I know it has become a de facto way now for publishers to effectively put out unfinished pieces of work, but I truly think that this is not supposed to be that way. I think it is supposed to be a work in progress. It is supposed to get feedback and help things improve, and hopefully it will be optimized, and hopefully it will get better. I say I can't wait to actually see this when it's closer to finished. I will be checking back on it throughout the beta program, so there will be obviously more videos there too. So yeah, hopefully this is something we can keep an eye on, and hopefully it goes far, because, like I say, the premise is excellent. The ideas that are there are indeed excellent, and hopefully Snail Games will be able to keep this one up and running, because I logged onto their website this morning to find out that Throne of Fire is closing. So that's one less game for their fans to play. But hopefully some of them can come over here, or and make a difference to help improve this particular game. So for some reason the sound is the background music is just completely cut out here. Never mind. As you can see from the chat log, it didn't take long for the gold spammers to arrive. 9 out of 10 messages are gold sellers. There's some racket. So yeah, 9 out of 10 gold sellers in here. There doesn't appear. I can report spam this way. Right click and report spam. So hopefully that can be taken care of by the dev team. It took ages for Final Fantasy to get a right click and report, so again that's something pretty good. It's going to take a quick run through the sort of menu options here to give you an idea of what they look like. So in the video settings, as you can see, we are running on high. You've got simple, low, medium, and high. Just to give you an idea of how it looks, let's just close this for a second and take a look at the world. This is on high. Down to mid-level, it should look like sort of that, if you can... No, I can't move the character from there. Low level, drops down some more, and simple is, very, very low. Even adjusting these, I don't notice that much difference in my frame rate. It appears to be locked at 60. It appears to not be able to go over 60 frames per second. But regardless of what setting things are actually on, the frame rate is, for me, holds, well, says it holds steady around 60 frames per second, but it doesn't. As you've seen in the video, there's an awful lot of lag. The music itself, the sound settings, you just have music, environment or sounds, UI sound effects, and actions. Pretty basic. Function settings where you can change things like your target locking, player names, chat blocker, etc. And you can customize the interface by making things bigger or smaller. You've got information settings, which in here is things like the fly text, like the damage that you've taken and things, status displays, and player colors. So you could change some of the NPC colors. Key settings for your keybinds seems fairly comprehensive. There's a lot of things that can be bound. I would say most things are able to be rebound. And the control settings. So you've got different kinds of control modes. Traditional, a black gold, special mode. I can't say I've noticed a world of difference there. And a crosshair mode, which is strange. I've never tried it out. I like the traditional mode. I'm very traditional that way. No need for me to change that. It works fine for me. I have any problem with those controls. And then back to your character section and resume. So there's another present. We've been on for 15 minutes, so we can claim another gift. Excellent, lovely. Some things aren't necessarily where you would expect them. I would expect inventory to be under I. Alas, it is not. It's under B for backpack, which you can also access through this little icon down here. Yeah, could be better. Again, characters under C. That's kind of what I expect. As I said, the character models are very nice, and the character creation is very good too. I've managed to clip right inside that there. Whoops. Let's just get off that, and I'll zoom into the character model itself. So as you can see, character model very nice, detailed. Can't knock that at all. You got a nice sort of steampunk armor here, and the armor designs seem fairly interesting as well. Again, can't knock these. There is, I'd noticed when I have the hat off, there is some really, well, for one, it totally changes your hairdo, but for two, really bad clipping through the shield for long hair. But, these things happen. And I'm willing to write off almost everything under the guise of it's still beta. Why does it change my hairstyle? I mean, I'm going from, swept back with a ponytail to, oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. A completely different hairstyle, a completely different hair length, almost a completely different character. Put the hat on. So again, little things, little baby steps that I'm sure will get better as this progresses. I'd say, would I recommend it at the moment? No, probably not. I've got a lot of time for it. But unless you know what you're walking into, do not go into this and expect an MMO experience. It is free to play. You can sign up on their website. So, go there, www.bg.snailgame.com, and you too can sign up for the Black Gold's beta. You can find out more information there and obviously download the client, watch some trailers, etc. So check it out. Obviously support the smaller devs. Snail Games have got some excellent other games as well. Age of Wushu's there. So yeah, do check it out. If you look up, if you look down on this one, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will see the subscribe button. Give that a click, and you can stay up to date with all of my videos. You can also check the description below this video, where you will find links to my Twitter and to my Twitch stream. where I'll be playing little bits of Final Fantasy, Hearthstone. What else have I got going on? Wildstar, um, even Smite, which I recently started playing and appear to be thoroughly awful at. You might even see me ruining other people's games in Smite, and I apologise if you're one of those people whose games I have ruined. Thanks again for watching. Remember, you can like, favourite, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you around. Thanks very much for dropping by.